Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and we're gonna do another week in the life of. We're trying to do a little bit more of these videos because everybody seems to like them. In these videos, we like to show kind of the variety of things that we do in a week, aside from the project updates and some of the picking videos that we do standalone. There is a lot of stuff that happens in between. I think it's all very interesting, and it seems like you do as well. So we're starting this one a little early. It's Sunday, and we are doing that because I'm getting a new machine delivered. I've been looking for a Pullmax or reciprocating type machine. I found an ad on Facebook Marketplace that a gentleman had one that was priced about right. I mean, it wasn't a super good deal, but it was 20 minutes from my house. Very convenient. He had just pulled it out of a factory or an industrial setting where it was under power. He mentioned that he could run it himself to show me that it was working. Had a little bit of tooling with it, which was really great. I went over there, looked at it Friday, today's Sunday, and we struck a deal, and I got him to agree to deliver it. And basically he bought it at an equipment auction, and he was just flipping it, which is totally cool with me. And the convenience of him bringing it to me makes it totally worth it with how busy we are and everything else going on. So today's delivering it. We got some picking going on this week. The weather's starting to warm up a little bit, so we are going back to do a little bit of picking. So we'll show you guys some stuff that we find on a sort of semi-local pick. Might try and take if the weather cooperates, might try and take the T for a longer drive. We took it for a drive off camera, and it went pretty well. I mean, it went maybe 5 or 7 miles round trip, and it did pretty darn good. So if the weather, there's a little bit of rain, but it's supposed to be kind of warm this week again, we might take that out, and just whatever else happens this week, I have no idea. We're gonna take it to the warehouse too and show you a little bit for some stuff going on there. So let's get going. I got my dad's car out of here. We're gonna use the car lift to pick it up off his trailer, and then we can get it moved at least in a semi, sort of where it's gonna go spot. We'll see. Keep going. We start aiming that way a little bit. You can drive. I guess we'll move the straps. Let's throw it off the trailer. Go ahead. See? Like I always say, you get a couple of guys that done a bunch of stupid shit, you usually figure it out pretty quick. And you seemed like you did a lot of stupid shit in your day too. Alright, so it's Monday. Got this off on a Sunday, so I wanted to wait to have some help to try and move this thing around. So this machine, this is it's basically like a rebadged Lennox is what we believe. It's kind of funny. It's a Seacrest, and somebody put Ryan Seacrest out on it. Just pretty hilarious. But basically it's a reciprocating machine that you can raise and lower the upper handle here to drop the die down. And this currently is set up for a shearing function. Which is great, but you can do anything a Pullmax can do. Basically this can do. It's you can shear, you can bend, you can shrink, you can bead, emboss, whatever, etc., etc., etc. So pretty much your imagination is the limit. I've been wanting one of these forever. It's great that this thing is pretty much like pulled right out of a running, shop, but it was not like abused. This is probably like its fourth life. The guy I bought it from said that when he talked to the shop that it came out of, they said they went down to like Maryland or Virginia to pick this up, and then they ran it for years. So, you know, this thing's been through many lives. I don't know the exact age. I haven't looked this one up yet, but super cool. It's pretty big. It's heavy. We're gonna try and use my little pallet jack. I don't know if it's gonna be strong enough to pick it up. The gentleman I bought it from was using a pallet jack to move it around. If not, we gotta run to the warehouse and take a visit to Mike and steal one of the bigger pallet jacks to move this around. We're gonna try and get it to the other side of the shop just to get it out of the way, and then we'll work on getting our in-house industrial electrician to make this thing work again, and then we'll show you guys in another video. Keep your hand on the,
oh yeah,
on the release lever.
Yep.
It starts going like that.
clear the lift there. I think we're good there.
Okay. You let, yeah.
You want to
let it down?
there?
Yeah, so let it down.
Okay, watch your toes.
Oh.
Yeah, with that much weight on it, you can't really finesse it.
Pull your pallet jack.
Yeah. Dusty back.
Yeah, around the little sweep in there. And it'll just slide on out.
Yep, that'll work. Coming off the bars back here. Is that close enough to the wall for you? Do you want it closer to the wall out here?
It could go a little closer to the wall for sure.
Yeah. There you go.
That's much better.
Yes. That's good. You can drop it there, get another bite at it.
I'm just thinking where do we want it?
Well, now we can roll.
Yeah, we just roll it straight down.
Yeah.
We may need to do this to put it back in its home.
Right, yeah, to get it up tight against the wall.
Okay. Good. Let's see if we can roll this way now.
A little bit more.
Oh, hold on. Clear over there?
Yep, we're good over here. bit more towards me. That's probably good. All right, I'm gonna try going around this ways. You good?
Yeah, it's just heavy on my side now. Keep it from dragging. Unless you want to switch it. And start aiming
Yep.
the back side. About to come up on a crack here. Right. You want to start turning it.
Yep.
Swing the back end that way. Yes, just like that. Cool.
Yep. Okay, right
There's
there.
a crack, so. Alright, see if you can push straight in now.
Yep.
Pull the handle down.
Ready?
Yep. Are you clear of the toolbox over there? Let's see.
Yep.
Okay. You're twisting the wrong way.
Now I gotta go this way and then bring it around.
Can you just turn the handle the other way and spin it right like that?
Then it'll be this far up from the wall. Start turning.
And we don't want to be right on the bridge either, so.
Right.
Let's.
I'm an old hand with a pallet jack. I made my living with one for 30 years.
Okay.
You're coming down.
A little bit of weight on that.
A little bit, a little bit. No, you're not gonna be able to adjust it like that.
No, I was seeing if it had rock for the feet.
Oh, okay.
It's got those adjusters to.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was seeing if I could feel any weight for rock. Something that you can walk behind the box. Then you
Good,
can get.
there's no reason not, or you couldn't, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it close to there. But
Yeah.
if you can walk on, like, it's all the way on that side.
That's against. There's the last piece left on it.
There we go. That can just live right there when we're not using it.
Heck yeah.
All right, so today is
Wednesday.
We didn't really get to film yesterday. Mike and I were buying old stuff at an estate that we've been buying from for a little while now, and they're not particularly excited about us filming a ton of us digging around there or anything. So really great estate. They are very fair with us, and they know the deal. We buy a bunch of stuff. Some of it's to keep, some of it's to sell. They needed some space in the building. We've been there, I don't know what, four or five times buying now, and we pretty much just buy parts. There's a bunch of like project cars and pieces of bodies, just like all of us do. A lot of cars like Mike started out with that were, a cow and a quarter, and they really needed the space. So this last time, I was joking, texting with Vince that's kind of handling the parts stuff there, and he said, I really need to make a project car go this time. You need to bring a trailer. So we went and we got a project out of there and a ton of parts and great stuff. So we didn't get to film there, but we're going to show you some of our bounty mixed in with our week in the life of video. So we usually do a separate video on this, but since we didn't have time to film there, we're able to, so. Watch out, Moondog.
He was already looking for chipmunks.
Get out of the way. My God. Hey. Oh, looking for chipmunks.
Yeah.
Chipmunks.
You started that with this trailer. Now, every time he sees it,
He thinks it's... Where's the chipmunks? There's the chipmunks in here. Where they at? Where those chipmunks? Where they back there? Get them. Get them. Yeah, so we got a bunch of stuff. One problem was this was kind of like a, midway build that kind of fizzled out, or he had been tinkering on their father and father-in-law before he passed away. And there was no wheels, no suspension. It was just sitting on jack stands on top of carpet and wood, so we had to get it out. It was kind of a pain. We sort of used the car as a container. The frame's all filled with parts and stuff, so we drag everything out. This is always the problem when we go buying. A bunch of it is like stuff that I want. Mike usually wants a few things, and usually it's mostly me. I'm like, I have to break up with everything, as we always call it. So yeah, so we're gonna dig everything out. We gotta get the body out. We're gonna get in the shop. We'll talk a little bit about what the plan is with this this project, and show you guys a little bit of what we got. But we have a bunch to unload, so we're gonna get busy. Great helper, buddy. So we got everything unloaded. We were trying to do like what I was keeping, what we were gonna use for future builds, what we were gonna, sell, blah, blah, blah. And it all kind of got mixed together. So we figured we'd just show you this stuff. I'll give some highlights and then we'll show you the project car. So picked up, one of the last times we were there, Mike picked up one of these big, like 10 gallon moon tanks. Gentleman owned all this stuff. He loved moon stuff. He had like every single type of moon tank ever, and you keep finding more and more. So this one has all the stuff just knocked down like that there. And so we found a moon cap kicking around. This one needs some work. It needs to be welded. the thread, you know, bung welded on it for threads. But I think I'm gonna hold on to that because I was a little jealous of the one Mike had and how perfect it fits in the trunk. So yeah, that'll stick around. This chrome front end I've been looking at every time we went there. It was obviously not cheap, so to speak, because it's all chrome and it's nice. I really just want the wishbones, and because they're pretty cool because they're drilled and chromed. And I wanted the backing plates, of course, and the spring. But the front axle, even though it's cool, it's not a dropped axle. In most of the cars I'm running a drop axle. So I haven't decided what we're gonna do yet, but I may piece this apart and sell some parts and keep the things I need for other axles. But we're gonna stare at it for a day or two and make that decision. Another chrome front spring, we got like 10 of them. These lights are super cool. They're kind of crusty, but we grabbed them because they're unusual. They're like a European, I think Auto Rocher or something like that, but the little like Art Deco A in the lens is super cool on them.
I thought it was a Keystone the first time I looked at it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So they are old chrome, but they're pretty rough. But for the right car, they'd be really cool. These take normal like bulbs, like a 34 Ford or something would take. They're just pressing, you know, turn-in bulbs. So I'll see if we can do something with them. I'm gonna put them on a shelf, and for the right car, I think these would be really neat. They will clean up. I think they're just, obviously you're not putting them on a really nice car, especially that one. It was obviously sit on something that was like in a junkyard or in a field. But those are really cool. Grab these taillights because I've always thought about running these on the Sweetheart Roadster. So I got these, even though they're not nice enough because this car is gonna be all painted and nice. I wanted to grab them so we can use them for mock-up, or if I do like them, I can build off of these and then find a nicer set or get them re-chromed. But the thought was maybe French these in real far. So we're gonna stare at that. If I like it, you will know because there'll be a video with me putting taillights in. See how I Roadster with those. So those are cool. 33.4 cross member, just a good thing to have. We'll probably get rid of that. Model A cross member. Got a couple of K members. I'm gonna go through and audit what I have. I think I have a spare already, but I may not. So I'll keep what I have to put together a nice frame, and then we may get rid of the other one if I don't fall in love with both of them. Nice polished small block Chevy to early Ford adapter. I think I'm gonna hold on to that because we have a 283 sitting in the warehouse that we've been threatening to put in an early Ford. I know everybody are going to lose their minds, but got this cool Offenhauser intake that's a Ford 2 for small block. Again, we have that engine, so I've kind of in the back of my head been gathering some odds and ends to put together an old school style small block in a Ford. Cool track nose. It's old metal track nose. It was just sitting on display. This sucker's heavy. Old school track nose somebody built and welded together and has all the strapping. It's actually fairly well built. So I think I'm gonna hold on to this because again, I've always kind of thought about building a track nose T type thing. We have the one that's the race car, but like more of a like show car type thing. Oh, there's a trans adapter they got.
Oh, it's not in the adapter department?
Adapter department, set of Edelbrock heads. They're usable, not fantastic, but they're decent. They're just not like NOS or anything. Set of guide headlights, old black paint. Mike found those, which are cool. Those are kind of like the bread and butter hot rod headlights. So those old headlight stand that's been narrowed. Bunch of pedals. We were buying a lot of the gentleman had this stuff was bought just like we were putting together a lot of cars from nothing. Oh, excuse me, man. And we grabbed a lot of that stuff because both customers are asking for that, and we're kind of running low because we've been putting cars together. So we got a bunch of pedals and spindles and mechanical stuff, backing plates, all that, transmissions. 37 Buick trans, which is good, and banjo steering wheel, bunch of this stuff, XYZ.
Put that with the adapters, please.
Yes, and we got a crap ton of adapters. Yeah, we have a bunch of these. So most of this stuff, this is what we do kind of every year around the big swap meets. We will kind of buy up some stuff if we have some estates we're working on or whatever. We'll buy stuff and then we get it kind of put to the side for Carlisle and the big swap meets. So Spring Carlisle and Charlotte are coming up. We're doing both of those swap meets, the Charlotte Speedway and then also Spring Carlisle. A lot of the stuff we will not see on our IronTrap finds. It's going to go right to the show because we think it's kind of neat to keep swap meets going. So we're saving good stuff. So when people complain that there's nothing good at swap meets to buy, we're going to have some good stuff. So
We won't have our full spread at Charlotte, fair warning.
yeah, we're not going to have the crazy tent and all that stuff. We will have smaller space because we'll be more hanging out, but we will bring a little bit of stuff. But Carlisle, we will definitely have a bunch of stuff. Car. So this is a 28.9 Sport Coupe that
Start at the front.
he was building that has the look, man. It definitely has the look. It's on a 32 frame that's already been pinched and put together with the right stuff. It's got Model A cross members.
It's
Boxed in the front, and it's got a K member that's in it, so it's got all the right stuff done. It is a coupster, so he was cutting the doors and making it, but he was doing a pretty good job starting to get a top profile going on the car. I think it has a great look to it. It just needs that special touch to get it a little bit further. So what we're going to do is probably throw a bunch of parts from our stash at it and make it a little more palatable of a project for someone. We'll get a lot of the hard to find stuff on it, get it rolling, all that kind of stuff. And we haven't decided. If I don't fall in love with it, we may bring it to Carlisle as a little more complete and offer it up. If it's something that you'd be interested in, if you're watching the video and you want us to take it a little further along so you can just kind of wire it, build an engine and drive it, let us know. But yeah, this thing's pretty cool. It's pinch frame, Model A cross members, a bunch of lead work that's been done back in here. It has a louvered deck lid, cool little roll pan that was built underneath.
Excuse me,
Moon
sir.
is blocking. Here, buddy.
He's like, what is the problem?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of neat stuff that's done to this car that I think it's like a couple steps away from being a really, really good car. You just got to put the time and work into it to get a little further. So luckily we have the parts stashed to make this car get further along and get the look. So that's what we'll be doing. Yeah, so pretty good day. We're going to try and get some work done today. We're going to get this stuff back to the warehouse. And yeah, we'll stare at this thing for a couple of days, and we'll definitely update you guys in a future week in the life of video, let you know what's going on. Forgot we keep the good stuff in the truck. So we have a couple more highlights. This is really cool. We found this in the office. I have this binder, but I do not have the internal parts. It's all the service bulletins for V8 and V12 early Fords. But I have the book that's in actually better shape, but I don't have all the guts. I think one of our mail calls I got the book, but super cool. All the bulletins for cooling system and electrical, etc., etc. Ooh, bodies. There you go. Automatic top for a 40 Ford. It's pretty cool. So this is definitely a keeper item. I may transfer the binder to my better one, but this is really neat to have. Also got, every pick is not complete without a 32 grill. Steve's laughing. This one is pretty nice shape. It's been primered. Has an original, or has a, I don't want to say original, but it has an old redone radiator that's in it. You actually see somebody in Jackson, New Jersey redid this radiator back in the day. So this thing, obviously, is a keeper. And I'll probably pull another one off the wall.
Don't lie to yourself.
I probably will. Pull one off the wall that's not as nice. I've been trying to upgrade some of my grills, so that's good. And then what do we have? A windshield frame back
Yep.
here. I feel like this might have been off that car.
I think so because it's yellow.
Yeah, I think he might have cut this off the. So that car was probably a cabriolet.
Or sport, yeah, cabriolet, yeah.
So I don't know, but nice gold chrome windshield frame. So I'm gonna stare at this, make a decision what I'm doing with it. We may get rid of it, but that's probably what that car started as a cabriolet, and then he started building it into a hot rod. So here we go, super cool. All right, so happy Thursday. We had a busy day yesterday. Mike was over at the warehouse getting caught up on orders since we skipped the day, doing some picking. and we got everything unloaded like you guys saw, and Steve and I went and just put a bunch of stuff away. We put my engine upstairs, etc., etc. We were working on, swing past there, taillights and the louver deck lid from the project car behind me jumped its way onto Sweetheart Roadster. And we're working on a video of taillights and license plate mount. That's all I'll show you. So that's what we've been doing on that. Steve's actually got the Red 34 up on the lift. He's been tinkering with that during the week. Big thing I've been trying to do is even the cars that are driving this winter, we've been trying to go through and pull each one onto the lift and kind of go through it, because after driving cars, there's nuts and bolts that are, could be loose or need to be tightened up, oil changes, etc., etc. And like this car, I think it's been about 2 years now, 2 or 3 years since I put this thing on the road, because it was 2020 when I basically got it driving. So yeah, this summer's three years essentially. So I've never really changed the oil in this thing. It leaks oil, so I kind of just put oil in it. But with it having all kinds of crap in the valley and stuff, the oil was dirty and needed to be changed. And of course, I've driven it a bunch. So Steve's been going over it, doing that, adjusting brakes, etc., etc. He found a couple odds and ends that were things that I missed when I first put the car together, with some of the nuts and bolts and cotter pins and stuff. Yeah, so he's going to go over that. We got to replace the shocks. I used the old shocks that were on it. Yeah, and the shocks are pretty much worn out. Here's one of the shocks that's from like 1960. You can see there's like gold overspray. They had sprayed the underside of the car gold in the engine bay at some point, but the bushings are like rock hard, and the shocks, even though they still do work, you can see they're starting to rip and tear, and the shocks could use a replacement. So I need to get some of them ordered. He figured out. But the big thing, let me flip you around. Big thing is today, we have two things we're trying to get done. So number one, I need to get over to a top bow place. Luckily, we live in not too far from Amish country in Pennsylvania. Lancaster County is kind of like Amish country here, and there's still a lot of old time businesses there that you can get stuff done cheap, and you can get like a lot of things done that you can't really find anymore. Blacksmiths, in this case, steamers that are doing wood steaming and making bows. Because it's Amish country, they're of course doing a lot of buggies, and you're able to go there and basically they treat it like a buggy. They just measure it, bend you your bows, and they're pretty darn cheap. And I called them up, our buddy Jim that's doing the top and interior on the DeLorean Roadster. He pretty much said we use this guy when we're doing like Packards and Duesenbergs, and they don't really care what it is. The price is basically the same. You just give them the measurements or bring your bows. So I'm gonna make a drive over to Lancaster County and get the top bows measured. And then we're gonna come back here, and Mike, Steve, and myself, because it's unseasonably warm again in early March. And we're gonna work on getting the ceiling done in the new shop. So we still got about half to do. The hard part is done. Remember from the last Week in the Life video? So that's done. T's up here now, so that's running a little better. So we need to move some stuff and get that going. So while I'm away, this morning those guys are gonna start cutting metal, and we'll start putting some of this tin up today on a very warm early March day. right, so Mike and I went to our buddy Brooks' place. He has been working on that 39 Mercury that we did a video years ago of, that was an old channeled custom. He is finally working on that, and he has it all blown apart, and he's doing independent front suspension, a little bit more modern suspension stuff. So he offered for us to buy the 39 trans, all the bread and butter stuff, as we call it. So we went and grabbed that today, and while we're here, figured we'd show you a little bit what's going on at the warehouse. People seem to like that. So number one, Mike mentioned another video, but we have the merch all now in-house. We used to have it at Mike's house, and he had to do multiple things. So if you happen to order parts now and you want a t-shirt or merch at the same time, it's super easy. You can just add it onto your order. Just let us know. And the other thing is the orders are closed for the perfectly shitty shirts with Moondog on them, which is running around somewhere out over here. The pre-order is done of that. We may have a small, very, very small number at Carlisle. I think we ordered 15 or 20 extra for ourselves, and also if there's a misprint or something like that, or one gets damaged in the mail. So if you got in on the pre-order, we will be shipping them out.
Towards the end of March.
Yeah, toward ends of March. We had to put the order in, and there's lead time with our printer. And then they will get them out. So as soon as they get in, we will be sending those out to you guys. And like I said, at Hershey or at Carlisle, we may have a couple, but it won't be many. They may be eaten up within the first couple hours of us getting there. So we've also been getting ready for the auction. We'd have a bunch of people asking questions. We're doing like an IronTrap overstock auction, so to speak. And we're putting all kinds of good stuff Mike's been working on. There is a bunch of sheet metal, NOS, GM sheet metal that's left over from our West Virginia deal. We are not GM guys, so it is kind of a pain with this stuff, with the early Ford stuff that go back and forth. So Mike's going to be offering this stuff, and we are going to be offering this stuff, but Mike's been putting pallet lots together. You can see we have all kinds of stuff lined up. So there's going to be some individual hoods that you can buy, but then Mike's also putting together some pallet lots that guys can buy these, and it's fine. There's no reserve, so you can buy these parts and you can resell them. There's definitely going to be some money to be made, as with all auctions, but we're putting all kinds of neat stuff in it. There's literally going to be a complete Model A pickup project here with the cab and the bed. That's pretty good.
There's also a frame underneath.
There's a frame underneath of it, yes, Model A frame. We have some neat old stuff that I've been kicking around that's left over from, I had for my upstairs. We have too many of them, these neat old oil burner crates from a Gulf gas station.
There'll be some speed equipment in there too. I have to pull out yet.
Yeah, we'll have a bunch of speed equipment, et cetera, et cetera. So that's going to be starting basically the beginning of April. And it's going to be ending the end of April, right after Carlisle. So it's going to be Cabin Fever Auction Company. We will definitely be posting it all over the place once it goes live. It's going to be an online only auction, and then you can pick up afterwards. So make sure you check it out. I know that Gary and Jared from Cabin Fever, I think they have some interesting cars that are getting added to the auction potentially. There'll be a couple other consigners, but it'll be a fun deal. We'll have a ton of neat stuff, and again, it's going to be no reserve, and hopefully you guys grab some deals. We can pass some of this stuff on that we have that's kicking around, and we are definitely going to load in some good stuff to give you guys a chance to get a deal on some old speed equipment and some different stuff like that. So it should be really cool. But Mike's been busy. We're going to have probably, 100?
It'll probably be 250 lots.
250 lots of just our stuff, plus whoever else that they're having, other estates in the auction. So it should be very good. Keep an eye out. We'll put an announcement in a future video. And so we're going to finish unloading this stuff and work on doing some organizing today. It's kind of a light Friday, so to speak. All right, so I ran back to the shop here and got a little bit of work done. I am trying to work on doing this Frenching taillight video for the 3R Roadster. That's going to be an upcoming video. Mike was able to swing by Eastwood and got us a whole bunch of Eastwood stuff probably 3 or 4 times a year I put a wish list into Eastwood and they give us a bunch of stuff for upcoming projects. Always getting Rust Encapsulator Plus, which is great. Got a new Eastwood MP200i MIG TIG combo unit that I'm going to be trying out in the shop, which is exciting. And yeah, it's been a crazy week. We've done all kinds of different stuff. I've also in the background been getting ready for Kate and my trip to Australia. We're going to be at the Street Rod Nationals in Sydney, hanging out at that show. We'll have a little bit of merch there, but we're going to be walking around the show. We're going to give away an IronTrap award to my favorite car. It doesn't have to be shitty. It could be cool. We don't know. But I'll be giving out an award there, and we'll be hanging out in the show. It should be a good time. So definitely, if you are going to the Sydney Street Rod show, definitely stop by and look out for us, because Kate and I will be there hanging out. We also have a big pick coming. That was something else we worked on this week that I can't really record me on the phone with estates and families, but we are going next week down south and doing a little bit of driving. Mike and I are going to be trying to fill a 26-foot box truck. It's our favorite thing to do, with good old hot rod and early Ford stuff. So keep an eye out for that video. That is coming up very soon, and we're getting into swap meet season. So of course, we will see you guys hopefully at Charlotte or Carlisle. Thanks guys. Catch you later.